Hello, friends, and welcome to Sleep Tight Stories. Every week, we love celebrating our supporters with special shoutouts and birthday messages. It's a fun way for us to connect with all of you and learn about the amazing places you call home. Happy belated birthday to Cash Anderson, who turned 9 on October 6th and celebrated in Disney World. Mom and Dad are very proud of you. Happy belated birthday to Axel Harris, who turned 10 on October 5th. Chloe and Caden love you very much. Happy belated golden birthday to Amara, who turned 13 on October 13th. Welcome to the teens. Love Mama, Aryav, and Papa. Happy belated 9th birthday to Beckett. Mom and Dad are so proud of the young man you are becoming and love you so much. And happy belated birthday to Olivia in Hampstead, North Carolina, who turned 7 on October 17th. Mom, Dad, Madison, and Charlotte love you so much. Happy birthday to Aiden from Mama, Baba, and Yasha. You have filled their lives with laughter and their hearts with so much love. May all your days be as bright as your smile. Happy 6th birthday to our ninja Noah. We are so proud of you and what a kind, thoughtful, and brave kid you are. Mama, Papa, Mateo, and Lolo love you so much. Happy 9th birthday to Bristol in Costa Mesa, California. Mommy, Daddy, Easton, and Goldie love you to the moon and back. Happy birthday, Sophie. You are a creative star with the kindest heart. Mommy, Daddy, and Jerry love you very much. Happy 5th birthday to Joni. Mama, Daddy, Kirby, and Bubba love you so much and are so happy to celebrate the amazing human you are. Happy 7th birthday to Sebastian from San Antonio, Texas. Love Daddy, Mommy, Amelia, Ollie, Spooky, and Richie. We love you so much, our special, beautiful boy. And happy birthday to Rachel from Danville, California. You are strong, courageous, and hilarious. We are so proud of you. You can do anything you set your mind to. Go hit the gritty. Love Mom, Dad, Lena, and Scratchy Bunny. Happy birthday to you all, and thank you for supporting the show. If you'd like to support our podcast and enjoy ad-free episodes, unlock bonus stories, and so much more, you can join Sleep Tight Premium. Subscribe in just 2 taps via the link in the show notes. Now, on to our story. It is that time of year, and Bernice cannot wait to get ready for Halloween. Papa Bear and Bernice always make her costume together, and they have already discussed some ideas. There is a big Halloween party at school, and Bernice wants to have a great costume. She tells Papa Bear that Bobby and Gertrude are going to be buying their costumes this year, and asks if maybe she can do the same? Bernice and the Halloween costume. Bernice woke up to the sound of Cookie purring. It was her favorite alarm clock. Sometimes, if she didn't wake up right away, Cookie would give her gentle headbutts. But that didn't happen very often. Today was Saturday, and Bernice was excited because she had the whole day to do whatever she wanted. Well, unless Papa or Mama had plans. So, the dream she had last night about flying to the moon might have to wait. Getting out of bed, she stretched her arms wide and then felt a chill. "It's a little bit cold," Bernice mumbled, I better get dressed quick. Sticking her head out the door, she called downstairs. Papa, I smell something yummy. Are we having cookies for breakfast? Bernice quickly got dressed and after a fast stop in the bathroom, raced downstairs. Good morning, little bear, Papa Bear said in his super deep voice. Hi, Papa. Where's Mama? She didn't go running without me this morning, did she? I promised her I wouldn't run faster than her. No, Mama isn't running today. She's volunteering, remember? Tomorrow, you can run with her while I bring the snacks for you both. Yeah, runners like us need a Papa support team, Bernice said proudly. Are we really having cookies for breakfast, Papa? Or maybe waffles or pancakes or even French toast? Papa Bear chuckled. That all sounds delicious, little bear, but I made eggs this morning and I cut up some fruit to go with it. Plus, I baked some homemade bread. That might be what you smelled. Cookies sound better than eggs, but the bread smells nice and I like fruit, Bernice said as Papa Bear placed the breakfast on the table. Well, we can't have cookies all the time. Besides, if we ate cookies all the time, they wouldn't be a treat. When I was young, I asked my mother if I could have pizza for every meal. I loved my mom's pizza. Pizza for every meal? That sounds amazing. You make good pizza too. We should try it, Bernice said with a big grin. Papa Bear laughed. It might be fun, but your grandmother was even stricter than Mama and I, so I didn't get to try that idea. Anyway, today you have no practice or classes. Are you still planning to make a costume for Halloween? Oh yeah, I almost forgot, Bernice said as she moved her eggs around on her plate. She paused for a moment, glancing at Papa Bear, then at her breakfast, before continuing. There's a big Halloween party at school, and everyone's getting dressed up. Bobby and Gertrude are going to the new Halloween costume store to buy costumes with lights and stuff. They're super fancy. Bobby says everyone is dressing that way this year. Bernice hesitated, biting her lip as she looked at Papa Bear. He was going to make a robot costume that actually worked, but now he's thinking buying one might be cooler. She shifted in her seat, unsure if she should ask. So, Papa, I was wondering, instead of making a costume together like we do every year, maybe we could just go to the store instead? Papa Bear felt a little disappointed but smiled and said, We can do that, little bear. Why don't you finish your eggs and we'll head to the store this morning? We can be back before your mama gets home. Then you can give her a big spooky scare when she walks through the door. Yay, Bernice exclaimed, stuffing her mouth full of eggs. Papa Bear and Bernice got into the car, buckled up, and drove to the new costume store that all of Bernice's classmates had been talking about. Outside, the store was decorated to look like a haunted house. There were giant skeletons, floating ghosts, and other scarier decorations that Bernice wasn't too sure about. This store looks super fun, Papa. I bet they'll have a fancy costume that'll be perfect. Maybe even a cookie costume like the one we were going to make together. Well, let's go in and have a look, Papa Bear replied with a smile. As soon as Bernice and Papa Bear stepped inside the costume store, they were greeted by rows and rows of costumes. There were spookies, superheroes, pirates, and more creatures than Bernice could count. Bernice started to get super excited because there were so many options. Her eyes darted from one costume to another. Papa Bear let out a small sigh. It certainly is busy. Look, Papa, they have a robot costume with flashing lights and, oh, look at this one. It's a T-Rex. Bobby's T-Rex costume was probably better when he made it because he is good at stuff like that, but this is almost as good. His didn't make a roaring sound, though, Bernice giggled, feeling the thrill of so many possibilities. Papa Bear smiled and nodded. There sure are a lot of choices, little bear. But as they wandered further into the store, Bernice started to notice how crowded it was. Kids and parents rushed by, pushing their way toward the next display. One little boy bumped into her without saying sorry, and a few kids tugged at costumes without really looking at them. The noise of chatter and footsteps filled the air, and Bernice didn't feel as excited as she was when she first came in. "Why is everyone in such a hurry?" she whispered to Papa Bear, feeling a bit overwhelmed. "Maybe they're all just excited like you were," Papa Bear replied gently. They continued looking around, checking out different costumes. Some were pretty cool, like a dragon suit with wings and a knight's armor that even came with a shield. Papa Bear even pointed out a fluffy penguin costume that made them both laugh. "Papa, this dragon costume looks just like how I think Kai might look. I could be a dragon this year, don't you think? It says it has a flamethrower or something," Bernice said. "Haha, it looks like a great costume, Bernice, but I think this one might be meant for bigger kids," Papa Bear said with a laugh. "What about this costume of an alien? It says that it has flashing lights and makes space sounds. It might be fun," Papa Bear asked. "Yeah, it looks nice, Papa, but I don't think it's being nice to aliens, and I would feel super bad if they brought it up when I met them," Bernice replied. Finally, after much searching, Bernice found a costume she liked. It wasn't flashy or covered in lights, but it was perfect for her. It was a scientist costume with a white lab coat, goggles with flashing lights, and even a small set of test tubes. "Papa, this one's perfect. I can be a super scientist," Bernice said, holding it up proudly. Papa Bear smiled. "That suits you, little bear. It's perfect." After they purchased the costume, Papa Bear and Bernice got into the car to drive home. "Thank you for taking me to get a costume, Papa. It was kind of fun." "It was my pleasure, little bear. But you don't sound as excited now as you were earlier." "Yeah, it was a nice store and I found a cool costume and stuff, but it didn't feel as special as last year. I don't know, maybe it's okay. But next year, I think I'll make one with you again, especially if you make cookies," Bernice said, smiling. "You picked a great costume, and I loved going to the store with you and seeing all those great ideas. I think I might go back and get a gorilla costume and go trick-or-treating this year," Papa Bear said with a grin. "Oh, Papa, you can't do that. You're too old for Halloween," Bernice laughed. "We'll see, little bear. I might surprise you. But I have an idea. When we get home, you can try on your costume and show Mama Bear. Then, if you like, we can start making some spooky spider cookies together. And if you want, we can make some Halloween decorations or even create something to go with your super scientist costume." "That sounds super yummy, Papa." That night, after an afternoon of scaring Mama Bear, cookie making, decoration crafting, and a yummy dinner of pizza, it was time for bed. After finishing her bedtime routine, which she now did by herself, Bernice called out from under her soft blankets. "It's that time, Papa." "And what time is that, little bear?" Papa Bear replied from across the hall, his footsteps heavy as he walked to her room. "I think it's story time, and you haven't told us a new story in a super long time. I think Boo Boo and Kai Kai might have gone on vacation to Shirewood." "Shirewood? That would be an unusual choice for them to go on vacation," Papa Bear said, chuckling as he sat down beside her bed. "Well, maybe they needed a rest. Do you know any other stories, Papa?" "I know lots and lots of stories. But first, did you do all the things you need to do before bed?" "I did. I had a soapy bath with the banana bubble bath that Mama gave me. It smelled just like a banana split." "Is that why Madeline the monkey is looking at you that way? Because you smell like a banana?" "You're silly, Papa. She's smart like me." "And after your bath?" "I put on my warmest pajamas because it's getting chilly. Brushed my teeth for like 5 whole minutes and even did some stretches." "That's great, little bear. We need to dress warmer now that it's colder outside. Are you comfy?" "Yes, Papa." "How about Twigga, Wolfie, and Madeline? Are they all ready for a story too?" "They're ready." "What about you, Cookie? Are you ready for a story?" Papa Bear asked, giving Cookie a gentle scratch behind the ears. Cookie purred softly in response and curled up at the foot of the bed. "Okay, give me a big hug and kiss, and I'll tell you a short story." "Thank you, Papa." Bernice snuggled into her blankets, her eyes closed, ready to listen. "You know, little bear, when you said earlier that your new costume didn't feel as special as the ones we made together, it reminded me of a story. It's called The Rainbow Scarf, and it's about a boy named Max who learns something important about what really makes things special." Bernice nodded slightly, her eyes still closed, as Papa Bear began the story. Max stood in the living room, holding the scarf his grandma had knitted for him. It was soft, gray, and, well, plain. Max frowned a little, glancing out the window where his friend Leo was playing with his new scarf. It was one of those trendy scarves that everyone seemed to have, with bright stripes of red, blue, and yellow. Max couldn't help but feel a little jealous. "Leo's scarf looks way more stylish than mine," Max mumbled to himself, tugging at the edges of his gray scarf. It kept him warm, sure, but it just didn't seem as fun. As Max wandered into the kitchen, his mom was busy stirring a big pot of turkey soup. Turkey soup was kind of boring, too. "How was playing with Leo today, Max?" "It was okay," Max said, still thinking about the scarf. "But Mom, Leo's scarf is so cool. Mine's just gray." Max's mom smiled as she wiped her hands on a towel. "Your grandma knit that scarf just for you, you know. That makes it special. Much more special than what we buy in a store." Max sighed, still unconvinced. He wanted bright stripes, not just plain gray. The next day, Max and Leo met at the park. Leo was wearing his colorful scarf, and Max pulled his gray one tighter around his neck. The wind was blowing, and Max felt the chill. Leo, on the other hand, seemed more interested in showing off his scarf than playing. "Look at this," Leo said, fluffing the ends of his scarf. "Isn't it awesome?" Max looked down at his scarf and mumbled, "Yeah, yours is nice." But just then the wind whipped harder, and Max suddenly realized how warm and soft his scarf felt. Leo was too busy fixing his scarf to notice that Max was already running down the slide, bundled up and warm. Later that night, after coming inside from playing in the cold, Max tossed his scarf onto the chair in his room. As he got ready for bed, he felt something in his pocket and pulled out a small card. It was from his grandma. It had been tucked inside the package she had given him earlier. Max opened it up and read, "To my dearest Max, I knitted this scarf to keep you warm through the coldest winter days. With love, Grandma." Max looked at the scarf, now feeling a little different about it. Sure, it wasn't bright like Leo's, but his grandma made it just for him. He wrapped it around his neck again and smiled. It really was the warmest, softest scarf he'd ever had. The next day at the park, Leo was back with his fancy scarf. "Hey, Max, want a race?" Leo called, adjusting the ends of his scarf again. But Max was already zooming down the hill, his plain gray scarf snug around his neck, keeping him cozy. Leo caught up, huffing as he said, "You're really fast today." Max grinned. "It's the scarf. Keeps me warm. Want to play on the swings?" Leo paused, looked at Max's scarf and shrugged. "Yeah, sure." And from that day on, Max didn't care that his scarf was plain gray. It wasn't about the colors or stripes. It was special because Grandma had made it just for him. And with that, Papa Bear gave Bernice a kiss on her forehead, adjusted her blanket, turned off her lamp, and quietly whispered, "I love you, little bear." And that is the end of our story. Good night. Sleep tight.